The concert t-shirt. The t-shirts you buy at the concert of your favorite band. It is iconic. It is a staple of every tour. All the bands, they sell their merch, right? And so many times through the years, you and I have bought a t-shirt. It is just something that we do. We go see our band, and a lot of us get a t-shirt on the way out. A good friend of mine in my homeroom of my high school, he made a comment once. He's like, you always wear the same thing. Jeans and a concert t-shirt. It's true. That was like one of my main, that was like my apparel back then. And, meaning I've always been in jeans and a t-shirt. I'm just that kind of guy. So, it becomes part of who you are because, you just want to be one with the band. But one of my most favorite prized possessions, my favorite Rush items, besides the custom painting on the wall back here that my wife had commissioned for me. She commissioned an artist, and that's my custom Rush painting back there. Besides that is my Rush Clockwork Angels hat. I love this hat. This hat's been all over the country with me. I've had it now since, 2012? Thereabouts. I've had this hat for many, many, many years. You can tell how frayed it is around the edges here. And the day that I went to see R40, we went for a sail that morning. We were on Cape Cod, Massachusetts. We're going to see R40 in Boston that day. And we go out of my Uncle Gary's boat. And my dad's on there, my wife's on there. We're going for a sail. The wind kicks up. I was wearing my hat like this, stupidly, not in reverse. The wind blows it off into Cape Cod Bay. And it was floating seconds before it went under it was so close to going under the water. I'm just watching it like a hawk. I'm like, that's my Rush hat. And I've already had it for 3 years at that point, right? And we have a hook, the kind of thing that you use to pull yourself to the dock or grab a rope or from a mooring or something like that when you're sailing and you're up near the dock. So we had this kind of hook, and we went over there and over the edge, reaching out into the bay. Right before it slipped under the waves, I snagged my hat out of the ocean. What did I do? I put it right on my head with the Atlantic Ocean seawater all over my head, and it actually felt really good on that warm summer day. But this is so important to me, all right, this hat. And I never really wear it on camera, but I wanted to do it now because here's why. We're going to talk about concert t-shirts. And I'm going to show you some of the ones I've collected through the years. About, I believe, 10 of them, plus a bonus one. In recent years, when the re-release 40th anniversary came out, I did get this, which I think is pretty darn cool. This is the Farewell to Kings hat, okay? So this is my Farewell to Kings hat. More recently, fast forward, for R50, after I got a chipped mug in the mail for my Counterparts Rush mug, it was chipped, Backstage Club saw my video where I opened it up. I did an unboxing, chip mug. They saw that video. They sent me a new mug. They contacted me. So that was the coolest friggin' thing ever. That Backstage Club contacts me. Hey, did you get a new mug? No, I didn't. And basically, but for packing materials with my new unchipped mug, this mug, they sent a 3-pack of socks. So I actually have a 3-pack of Rush socks, which I thought fell into the category of apparel. So, moving on. One of my favorite all-time Rush shirts is this one. Classic Rush Starman, okay? And on the back, Starman once again for 2112, or just, their general logo. I love this t-shirt. It's one of my favorites. And speaking of, my wife on Cape Cod recently, when we were up there, I believe for this past Christmas, came back from a record store or something, and with this shirt, this is another 2112 shirt. So the other one's one of my oldest t-shirts, but this is actually pretty new, so I'm not sure who makes it, when it was made. It does say Rush inside the label, but yeah, 2112 shirt. Now, I mentioned in the vinyl video that the Moving Pictures Anniversary Edition came with a t-shirt. This is that t-shirt for Moving Pictures. So this actually came with the 40th anniversary release of Moving Pictures, which is kind of a cool shirt. Now, from the concert, straight from there. Roll the bones. I love this shirt. Yeah. My daughter has actually snagged this from me a few times and worn it, and I managed to get it back. But yes, Roll the Bones, all the concert dates in the back. I saw them right here in Worcester, Mass. Okay, right there in the middle, Worcester, Mass. Yeah, that's where I saw it. So that's Roll the Bones, which was my very first Rush concert. So this shirt is my first Rush shirt for my first Rush concert. Next up, Counterparts. This is a bummer. Okay, 1992 Counterparts. All right. Bleach or a hole got in it at one point, and now I have a big rip. But it's still an original from the concert with all the dates on the back. Counterparts. Okay. Yep. Sorry, 1994. Yeah, 1994. Next up, I went down to Texas to my friend Joel's house, and we went to see Vapor Trails. So this is Vapor Trails straight from the concert as well. Somewhere in Texas. I forgot where in Texas, but yeah. You can see Vapor Trails. And then I actually have another Vapor Trails shirt. This one's red. And boy, is that red. My goodness sakes. With all the concert dates in the back. Yep, Vapor Trails. 2002. This one's not quite a Rush shirt, but I think some family member of my wife got it for me. I mean, come on. Geddy Lee, the bass master, with his autograph on there. It's kind of cool. So that's a Ged shirt. And speaking of a Geddy Lee shirt, back in the early 2000s when it came out, I got this shirt, my favorite headache, Geddy Lee. I love this shirt because it's just unique from a certain time period. And it's his only solo album. I mean, come on. So anyway, yep, Geddy Lee, my favorite headache. Kind of cool. Like that one. Of course, I've made a couple videos about this, and this was part of one of my unboxings in another video. Of course, to go with Neil Peart's last book, Silver Surfers, Sports Cars of the 60s. And on the back, you can see that, Neil Peart, with all the Silver Surfer cars. That very day I mentioned where this hat, my Clockwork Angels hat, blew into the ocean, but that night we went to see R40. Magical, amazing. Last time I got to see Rush, last time any of us got to see Rush live. And it was spectacular, and I got a t-shirt. That was in Boston at the Garden, and my dad and my wife came with me. It was amazing. And when I was there, I got this t-shirt. Rush, R40. So, I have Roll the Bones, my very first Rush concert, and R40, my very last Rush concert. See how they're kind of special, right? Little moments in time, little waypoints in our journey with Rush. That's kind of... All right. In the vinyl set, actually, I just made a video where I showed a bunch of new vinyl, and I told you that I'm a huge fan of Yes. And I got some Yes vinyl for the first time, Fragile and 90125. I'd never owned a Yes vinyl before. I have all the CDs, of course. But I got to see the Union Tour. And I still have my Union Tour concert ticket in the Union case. Okay, so I bring that up because I got to see Yes that year, and I'm thrilled that I did, because there not too many times have come up since then where I could have seen them. So I'm glad I got to see them then for that tour, and it was amazing. So while I was there, this is, oh my goodness, talk about vintage. See how faded that is? Cool shirt though. In its prime, this was an amazing looking shirt. Still is cool looking though, but and on the back, Union, 1991, with the tour dates. And I saw them, I believe, in Western Mass. Yeah, it was an outdoor amphitheater out there. Oh, it was Great Woods. Yeah. I saw them at Great Woods. And now it's... Neil Peart, in a couple of his books, talks about how that venue in particular, Great Woods, now has some ugly named corporate sponsor, this and this bank, such and such insurance company, whatever it might be, some corporate entity, instead of a lovely name, right? This kind of this beautiful natural sounding name. Great, it's the Great Woods. It's a Great Woods Amphitheater. Now it's like, Citibank Amphitheater. So cold, so detached. But at that time it was called Great Woods. And I saw some great concerts there. I saw Tears for Fears, it's an amazing tour. I saw right around that same time period. I also saw Depeche Mode, which, by the way, Depeche Mode, the Violator tour, Depeche Mode Violator, was my very first concert ever. So and I was a big Depeche Mode fan back in that day. Anyway, guys, those are my concert t-shirts. You see I'm donning my trusty hat. This hat's been to the edge of the world and back, and it stayed with me. And it's literally my favorite hat on the planet, and I love it so much. So anyway, guys, there you go. That's all the Rush apparel I have for you for now. Stay tuned for the next part. These are two of my concert tickets to R40. I assume my wife and mine. When we saw, right here, Rush R40 live tour, TD Garden, June 23rd, 2015 at 7:30 p.m. That's right. Anyway, yes, these are our concert tickets. We were on the floor, pretty far back, but good enough. I got some really good video. I've shared that with you guys. So these are the concert tickets. Now, weird story surrounding my R40 experience. Part of that experience was this. I had bought 2 tickets, and they were these special deluxe packages, right? And it came with a bunch of extra goodies, one of which, it came with a duffel bag, an R40 duffel bag. It came with a tour book, and also this. R40 Tour 2015. Inside of this are 4 wooden guitar picks. There's a little holder for them. It's magnetic. You can kind of hear it click there. All right, and you can see the seagull from the R40 artwork. And R40. Of course, the Starman, pretty colored wood there. And the classic Rush logo font. So yeah, really cool. That was a really cool gift. However, I ended up selling those tickets on a ticket selling website, and because I wanted to bring my dad, and I had to sell off those 2 tickets, or my wife, one of the two. I need to add a third person, so there would be 3 of us. So I was able to actually sell them, recoup my money, and I got 3 tickets on the floor for my dad, my wife, and myself. So, however, I got to keep the goodies. I just sold the tickets, and I got to keep the goodies. That was cool. So yes, I still have a duffel. I gave the other duffel bag to Joel years ago, my friend Joel. And I may have given him the other ones of these as well, because I only have one. And by the way, a lot of times when I need to sync up cameras, when I'm shooting like this in multiple cameras, this is what I do. I go 3, 2, 1, and this acts as a little clapboard. 3, 2, 1, and I sync up the audio and video to get both cameras synced up. So there you go. Now the R40 tour book. This is it. In case you have never seen it, okay. On the back, Starman, the painted swath. It says 2015 on there. And you guys have seen this artwork before. And by the way, yeah, there's the boys. And inside's a big old story by Neil Peart. It's called Live It All Again. How perfect is that? From the lyric, of course. And here's a picture of them writing Natural Science. The studio video shoot, 1980, a picture there. There's a graphic from Presto. Great picture of Alex. Another great picture of Alex here. Some outdoors pictures of Neil with his... And you know what? Monsters from the Deep. I bet that has to do with... I believe his R40 set came from an ancient, almost petrified log they found in a river somewhere in the world. And they turned that into... They used that wood for his set. And I believe that's what that story is recalling, as in Monsters from the Deep. His drums from the deep. Here's Ged in an equipment list is a great picture of Geddy right there. One of his classic old jazz Fender basses. You can see all the wear and tear on there. That's a great picture. I love how the most serious music and lyrics, right? Just serious in that is just great. And however, they never took themselves seriously. And I think that's what adores so much of us to them, right? Is that you have to have a sense of humor. And I believe that's part of their unity through the years, is that sense of humor, uniting them, paving it a smooth surface over what could be quite a bumpy ride, right? You know, no married couple gets along famously forever. You know, there's bumps in the road, as there is with a brotherhood, as there is with a band, but they stay together all those years. A sense of humor helps with that. At least I've found. You can see equipment here. Some more great pictures. The boys playing. Whole bunch of great pictures here. Really good stuff. Alex pretending to sing along, of course. Doing his kind of big windmill move. Anyway, the photography in these books, stellar, right? It's top notch, as it should be. Really good stuff. And boys with a couple of pints. I believe that's a picture of Neil over in England. There's the boys playing with. That's probably them getting ready for the Hall of Fame. I see Nick on bass, old Rickenbacker bass. I see Taylor on drums, and I see Dave Grohl on guitar. Yeah, so that's probably them practicing. They played, as you know, those three played 2112 for the Hall of Fame ceremony. There's some great pictures. And, of course, credits for the crew and the tour and the band and the management. And this is just a great picture, set of three as well. The boys. And back here we have... Wow, all the studio albums. I've not looked at this in years, so hence my surprise, right? All the studio albums, the live albums, the compilations, they're all listed right here. This massive, massive list. And in addition, photos of all of them. Hence, 40 years of Rush. Celebrating 40 years. And how appropriate is it that we now are 10 years out from this? A lot's happened since then. Here we are in 2025, this being 2015. A lot's happened. We lost Neil. But we're celebrating our 50 this year, as we've done here on this channel and in our own lives. And coming up, I'm going to do an even deeper dive into the R50 box set. A real deep dive where we'll kind of do what we did here. So be looking for that video, page by page, song by song, CD, vinyl, photos, and so on. We're going to do a much deeper dive. So anyway, for now, we looked at the clothes, the hats, the socks, but I wanted to do a quick dive into some of the cool merch that we get either by buying tickets or that you get there at the concert venue. There you go. If you haven't seen it before, this is the R40 tour book. R40 tour was amazing. And by the way, as you can see, I've got two from when I bought those really expensive tickets. And speaking of, these are the final tickets that we settled on for the floor. Guys, thank you so much. It's been a blast doing this. Stay tuned for more.